For many seniors, the advice to eat more fruit is common. However, what often goes unsaid is that certain fruits, particularly after the age of 60, can subtly impair circulation, weaken your legs, and accelerate muscle loss. This isn't solely about sugar content. It's about how the aging body interacts with specific compounds in these fruits, leading to blood sugar spikes, magnesium depletion, and even reduced oxygen flow to muscles. In this discussion, we'll explore 7 fruits that seniors should consider limiting or avoiding and suggest alternatives to safeguard your strength, stamina, and balance. Bananas. A contextual choice. Bananas are frequently seen as the epitome of healthy snacks. They are readily available in gym bags, lunch boxes, and morning routines, and for good reason. They're easy to eat and provide a quick energy boost. However, their impact is highly contextual. Whether a banana benefits or harms you depends entirely on your lifestyle. If you're consistently active, walking, lifting, exercising, bananas offer a fast-digesting fuel that your body can utilize immediately. But if you're over 60 and lead a more sedentary life, bananas might quietly contribute to fatigue, abdominal fat, insulin resistance, and even muscle cramps. The obvious concern with bananas is their sugar content. A medium banana contains approximately 14 grams of sugar. While natural, this sugar still affects blood glucose levels similarly to processed sugar. Consuming a banana, especially on an empty stomach or without accompanying protein or fat, can cause a rapid blood sugar spike. This surge triggers a release of insulin, the hormone that clears sugar from your bloodstream and typically stores it as fat. Once the insulin surge subsides, your blood sugar drops, resulting in fatigue, brain fog, irritability, and often a craving for more sugar. This cycle can feel like a symptom of aging, but it's frequently a result of unstable glucose. For active individuals who walk 10,000 steps daily, engage in workouts, or do intense gardening, muscles readily use this sugar as fuel. Their insulin response is efficient, and their metabolism can handle the spike. However, if your day involves extended periods of sitting, minimal movement, or light household chores, that sugar has no immediate outlet. Consequently, your body stores it, primarily in your midsection, the most hazardous area for fat accumulation due to its proximity to vital organs. Over time, this increases the risk of type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and cognitive decline. Beyond sugar, bananas can also contribute to nutrient imbalances. While renowned for their potassium content, which supports heart rhythm, nerve function, and fluid balance, bananas are comparatively low in magnesium. Potassium and magnesium work synergistically to facilitate muscle function, hydration, and nerve signaling. When one is high and the other is low, particularly in older adults whose magnesium reserves are often diminished by stress, medications, and age, symptoms can emerge. Common issues include muscle cramps, nighttime leg cramps, spasms, and calf tightness. These aren't always random. They often signal imbalanced mineral ratios. Ironically, many seniors then consume more bananas to alleviate cramps, believing increased potassium will help, when magnesium is often the true deficiency. This can worsen the cramps rather than resolve them. Your body is attempting to communicate its needs. The key takeaway is that bananas aren't inherently bad. They are a tool that must be used appropriately. If you're about to embark on a hike, lift weights, dance, play tennis, or engage in physical labor, a banana is a sensible choice, as your body is prepared to absorb and utilize that quick energy. But if you're relaxing on the couch watching TV and snacking on a banana because it's perceived as healthy, you're merely spiking your blood sugar without purpose, and your body will bear the consequences. If you enjoy bananas and wish to include them in your diet, consider how you consume them. Never eat them in isolation. Instead, pair them with protein and healthy fats. For example, try half a banana with almond butter and a sprinkle of cinnamon. Add it to a smoothie with greens, chia, seeds, and collagen protein. Or consume it after physical activity, not as a passive snack. Limit their frequency. Daily consumption is excessive for a sedentary lifestyle. Once or twice a week, when your body has truly earned the fuel, is a more suitable rhythm. If you experience post-breakfast fatigue, unexplained weight gain around your abdomen, mid-morning energy crashes, or nighttime leg cramps, monitor your banana consumption. Eliminate them for 2 weeks and observe the changes. Replace them with low glycemic fruits like berries or green apples. Incorporate more magnesium-rich foods such as pumpkin seeds, leafy greens, or dark chocolate. Drink more mineralized water. Focus on supporting your body's actual needs, not just its cravings. In a world that favors simple answers, health demands context. Bananas are not detrimental, but they are often mismatched with an individual's lifestyle. As you age, precision in your dietary choices becomes increasingly important. Every bite either fuels your energy or depletes it. Every food either harmonizes with your metabolism or burdens your system. The only way to truly understand is to listen to your own body, not fleeting trends. Ask yourself honestly, do you feel sharper, lighter, and clearer after eating bananas, or do you feel foggy, tired, and bloated an hour later? Your body communicates constantly, and sometimes, improving your health begins with questioning what you've always assumed was safe. Bananas aren't bad, but they aren't for everyone, every day, especially if you're not physically active. Grapes, a deceptive sweetness. Grapes appear innocuous, refreshing, bite-sized. A bowl of grapes feels like a harmless, even virtuous snack, a healthier alternative to candy or chips. For years, you've likely been told they're beneficial for heart health, rich in antioxidants like resveratrol, good for your skin, and even disease protective. However, for older adults, particularly those with limited activity or sluggish circulation, grapes can subtly become a significant contributor to inflammation and metabolic dysfunction in your daily diet. The primary issue is that grapes are essentially pure sugar in disguise. Their soft skin and juicy interior are packed with glucose and fructose, two sugars that rapidly enter your bloodstream. A mere handful, 15 to 20 grapes, can contain over 20 grams of sugar, exceeding the sugar content of a small candy bar. Unlike a candy bar, grapes don't come with a warning label, and they don't feel indulgent. They feel natural. Yet, natural does not equate to neutral. For an aging body that processes sugar less efficiently, grapes can be more detrimental than you realize, especially when consumed mindlessly throughout the day. The problem begins with the swift glucose spike. Grapes rapidly elevate blood sugar. In a younger, more insulin-sensitive body, this spike is quickly managed. But for older adults, particularly those with insulin resistance, prediabetes, or reduced pancreatic function, this sugar lingers. It creates a volatile cycle of spikes and crashes, inundating your system with insulin one moment, then draining your energy the next. Each time this occurs, the body incurs a cost: increased inflammation, weakened capillary walls, and stress on the vascular system. This is when symptoms like ankle swelling, puffy fingers, and heavy legs by afternoon emerge. These aren't just indicators of poor circulation. They are signals of glycemic overload, your body struggling to clear sugar from the blood, maintain fluid balance, and preserve vascular tone. Grapes may seem light, but their metabolic impact is substantial, especially if you're already grappling with issues like varicose veins, neuropathy, tingling limbs, or restless legs at night. Grapes can unwittingly exacerbate the very problems you're trying to alleviate. The irony is that many seniors snack on grapes between meals when their insulin is already unstable and their digestion is slower. This not only unpredictably raises blood sugar, but also taxes the liver, which must process sugar not used for energy. If you're inactive, seated, reading, watching TV, or resting after lunch, that sugar has no immediate destination. It gets stored, typically in the abdomen, liver, and bloodstream. Over time, this leads to increased belly fat, fatty liver, elevated triglycerides, and systemic inflammation. While grapes do contain antioxidants, notably resveratrol, which has been associated with cardiovascular benefits, the truth is, you would need to consume pounds of grapes to achieve a therapeutic dose of resveratrol. By that point, you would have flooded your body with so much sugar that any potential benefit would be overshadowed by metabolic stress. If you genuinely seek resveratrol, a supplement or moderate consumption of fermented low-sugar sources like red wine would be more effective. Grapes are not harmful due to a lack of nutrients. They are harmful because they inundate the system with sugar before any benefits can be realized. For safer fruit options, consider berries, which are lower in sugar and higher in fiber. A handful of raspberries or blueberries offers antioxidants, supports blood vessels, and has a significantly lower glycemic impact. Even sliced green apple with cinnamon or pears in moderation can provide sweetness without the sugar overload. If you choose to eat fruit, do so with a meal, not in isolation. Combine it with fat, protein, or fiber to mitigate the glucose response. Never snack on grapes by themselves, particularly in the afternoon or evening when your insulin sensitivity is at its lowest. This crucial point must be emphasized. Your body changes with age. What was suitable in your 30s may no longer serve you in your 60s or 70s. Your ability to tolerate sugar, regulate blood pressure, manage fluid retention, and circulate blood efficiently naturally declines. This is not your fault, but it is your responsibility to adapt. Grapes may have been fine when you were actively raising children or running errands all day, but now, with lower activity levels and slower recovery, you must be more selective, not restrictive, but intentional. So if you're experiencing swelling, post-meal fatigue, restless legs, or tingling in your feet, honestly evaluate how frequently grapes are part of your routine. Are they truly helping, or are they simply a habit, a seemingly healthy indulgence? Your body speaks through symptoms. If yours is sending signals, it's time to listen. Grapes are not inherently bad, but they are often unsuitable for many seniors. Don't be misled by the term fruit. Instead, be guided by how you feel: light, energized, sharp or swollen, tired and foggy. Your circulation, insulin sensitivity, and energy all deserve better than a fruit that deceives your system while purporting to nourish it. Understand your body, respect your biology, and don't let sugar wear a healthy disguise. Watermelon, a summer deception. Watermelon is a quintessential summer fruit, sweet, juicy, and refreshing. It evokes memories of family picnics, leisurely afternoons, and childhood joy. There's an undeniable nostalgia associated with cutting into a large wedge of watermelon on a warm day. The vibrant pink flesh, the coolness, the simplicity. Culturally, watermelon has gained a reputation as a healthy fruit, largely because it's mostly water, providing hydration and feeling light. However, here's the uncomfortable truth that few are willing to state aloud. Watermelon is one of the least advisable fruits for regular snacking if you're over 60 and inactive. Not because it's unnatural, but because your body can no longer withstand the blood sugar disruption it creates. Let's examine watermelon's composition. It's approximately 92% water, with the remainder primarily sugar. It contains very little fiber, negligible fat, and no significant protein to slow digestion. This means that when you consume it, especially on an empty stomach or without other foods to balance it, it rapidly enters your bloodstream. Scientifically, it possesses a high glycemic index, ranging from 72 to 80 depending on ripeness, higher than white bread. For older individuals, when insulin sensitivity naturally diminishes, when the pancreas becomes less responsive, and when blood sugar regulation becomes more delicate, such a spike creates a metabolic disturbance. Your blood sugar surges, you may feel a quick rush, even a fleeting sense of energy. But within 30 to 60 minutes, that sugar crashes, leaving you more depleted than before. Your hands might feel shaky, your legs heavier, your thinking foggier. If this cycle repeats daily, snack after snack, your blood vessels begin to suffer, particularly the capillaries in your feet, hands, and brain. Watermelon may taste light, but its effects are anything but. What's often overlooked is that chronically consuming high glycemic foods damages your microcirculation, the intricate network of tiny vessels that deliver oxygen and nutrients to your fingers, toes, eyes, and brain. Over time, blood sugar spikes inflame these vessels, rendering them stiff and dysfunctional. Blood flow becomes impeded, tissues don't receive essential nutrients, and you may begin to experience early symptoms: cold hands and feet, numbness or tingling, restless legs at night, lightheadedness upon standing, or even slower wound healing in the lower legs. These are not merely signs of aging, they are indicators of poor circulation, and your fruit choices can either aid or hinder this process. Furthermore, most watermelon is consumed in isolation, mid-afternoon, after lunch, or as a snack. It's rarely paired with protein or fat, meaning there's no buffer. It infiltrates your system like liquid sugar. The larger the portion, the greater the potential harm. You don't need to consume an entire melon to feel the effects, just a few. Slices daily can establish a pattern of instability in your blood sugar and circulation. For older adults, especially those with prediabetes, type 2 diabetes, or metabolic syndrome, this is a recipe for long-term decline. Even worse, the refreshing sensation is deceptive. People eat watermelon believing it's hydrating, but without essential minerals like sodium, potassium, and magnesium to retain that water within your cells. It simply passes through you. This can leave you feeling more dehydrated than before. You might find yourself urinating more frequently, then experiencing unusual fatigue with dry mouth and dizziness that doesn't align with the amount of water you thought you consumed. Again, this isn't always aging. It's often an electrolyte imbalance caused by an ineffective hydration strategy. Watermelon provides water, but not the elements necessary to hold it. So what steps can you take? You don't need to eliminate watermelon entirely, but you must stop consuming it mindlessly. If you choose to have it, treat it like a dessert, not a hydration tool. Eat a small portion after a balanced meal, not on an empty stomach. Pair it with fat or protein, a few almonds, a slice of cheese, a boiled egg, to help stabilize your blood sugar and slow absorption. Most importantly, don't eat it every day. Reserve it for occasional moments, not daily habits. Observe how your energy, balance, and focus respond. If you've been feeling inexplicably tired, if your legs feel heavy, if your mornings are foggy, or your afternoons are characterized by energy crashes, carefully examine your snacking habits. You might believe you're making a healthy choice, but your body, particularly after 60, does not process watermelon as it once did. What was once harmless now carries a cost. Circulation matters, blood flow matters, clarity matters, and every bite sends a signal, either towards health or away from it. The next time you reach for a slice of watermelon, ask yourself, am I nourishing my body or am I overwhelming it? Your answer will influence how you feel for the remainder of the day. Fruit juice, a concentrated live fruit juice, all types, represents one of the most pervasive falsehoods in the grocery store, a myth propagated since childhood. The notion that a glass of orange juice with breakfast is healthy, that apple juice is a smart alternative to soda, or that grape juice benefits your heart. Labels proclaim 100% juice, no added sugar, immune support, and packed with vitamin C. It sounds nourishing, feels like a responsible choice. However, if you're over 60, especially if you're not engaging in regular exercise, daily juice consumption is not only unhelpful, it's quietly damaging your blood vessels, disrupting your metabolism, and compromising your stability. Here's the truth that no one is actively marketing. Fruit juice is merely concentrated sugar. Its origin, whether organic, cold-pressed, fresh squeezed, or additive-free, is irrelevant. Once the fiber is removed from a fruit, once the chewing, the feeling of fullness, and the slow digestion are eliminated, what remains is liquid sugar that assaults your liver, spikes your blood sugar, and accelerates aging. As you get older, your body's ability to recover from this damage diminishes. Consider the numbers. A single 8-ounce glass of orange juice contains approximately 21 to 26 grams of sugar, much of it in the form of fructose. This is equivalent to about 5 or 6 teaspoons of sugar in one sitting. Yet you don't feel as though you've just had dessert. You feel as though you've made a healthy choice because the industry has conditioned you to view juice as a vitamin. However, fructose does not behave like glucose. It isn't directly utilized by your muscles. It is processed almost entirely by the liver. When large doses of fructose are consistently introduced to the liver, day after day, particularly without fiber or physical activity, the outcome is predictable and detrimental: fatty liver, insulin resistance, and inflammation. Your liver, already performing less efficiently with age, becomes overwhelmed. It begins storing excess fructose as visceral fat, the dangerous fat that accumulates around your organs. This visceral fat is not inert. It releases hormones and inflammatory signals that damage your blood vessels, impede muscle recovery, and increase your risk of falls, swelling, and diminished mobility. All of this can originate from something as seemingly innocent as a daily glass of juice. To make matters worse, many seniors consume juice first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. This means there's no food to slow digestion, no fiber to bind the sugar, and no nutrients to buffer the impact. Your blood sugar skyrockets, insulin surges, and within an hour or two you crash, tired, foggy, and craving more sugar. If you pair that juice with toast or cereal, you've simply layered sugar upon sugar upon sugar. Your pancreas goes into overdrive, your circulation weakens, and your legs bear the brunt. That heavy, unstable sensation when walking, that wobbliness on stairs, that struggle to maintain balance after a meal, these aren't solely signs of aging. They are sugar-induced vascular fatigue. This applies not only to orange juice, apple juice, grape juice, cranberry juice, pomegranate juice, even versions labeled "no sugar added," all affect the body similarly. Without fiber, your body processes them as soft drinks. In fact, most juices contain as much sugar as, and sometimes more than, soda. They flood the bloodstream with calories that do not satiate. You drink them, but you don't feel full. You just feel off, bloated, sluggish, and strangely depleted. Then comes the most detrimental consequence: your body's diminished response to insulin, a condition known as insulin resistance. This is the initial step towards metabolic disease. It explains why some seniors gain weight despite eating less, why abdominal fat becomes stubborn, and why energy dissipates after walking even short distances. When insulin function is impaired, your muscles cannot effectively absorb fuel, your circulation fails to adapt, and your ability to remain upright, steady, and clear-minded is compromised. Therefore, to state it plainly, if you are drinking juice daily, cease immediately. It is not hydrating you. It is not protecting you. It is not providing genuine energy. It is harming you. Even fresh homemade juice, even with pulp, lacks the crucial element that makes whole fruit healthy: fiber. You are not drinking fruit. You are drinking fruit's sugar. Remarkably, many seniors report feeling better within days of discontinuing juice consumption. Their bloating diminishes. Their legs feel lighter. They experience greater stability when standing, and their hunger levels normalize. The afternoon energy crash disappears. When you stop inundating your bloodstream with fructose, your liver recovers, your insulin begins functioning properly, and your muscles, brain, and gut start to synchronize. For hydration, drink water. For flavor, add lemon, cucumber, or mint. For nutrients, eat the whole fruit with its skin and pulp intact. Apples, berries, pears. They still contain sugar, but it's packaged with fiber, allowing it to enter your system gently, safely, and respectfully. This is nature's intended design for fruit. Juice is a subversion of that design, a shortcut with a significant cost. The next time you consider reaching for a bottle of juice, ask yourself, am I drinking this for my health or because of a habit that's keeping me stuck? Your body is speaking through your circulation, your balance, and your cravings, and it's no longer whispering. Break the cycle. Ditch the juice. Your liver, your blood vessels, your legs, and your clarity will express their gratitude. Dried fruits. A sweet deception. Dried fruits are small, sweet, and convenient for stashing in a bag or bowl. A handful of raisins here, a few dried apricots after dinner, some dates with almonds in the afternoon. Dried fruits have become the healthy candy, a go-to for those seeking sweetness while trying to avoid desserts. Marketing further reinforces this perception with phrases like no added sugar, gluten-free, natural, and antioxidant-rich. However, let's be unequivocal. Dried fruit is not a healthy snack for most seniors. In fact, for many, it's a metabolic and hydration catastrophe disguised by a health halo. To understand why, you must look beyond their small size and the label. A raisin is not merely a grape. A date is not just fruit. The drying process removes water, one of fruit's most vital components. Without that water, the sugar within becomes highly concentrated. What was once a juicy bite of balanced nutrition transforms into a calorie-dense, fiber-deficient, sugar-heavy bomb that your body processes more like candy than a whole food. Consider the numbers. A single date contains approximately 16 grams of sugar, more than a cookie. 1 cup of raisins packs over 85 grams of sugar, equivalent to drinking 2 cans of soda, but without the liquid volume. Because dried fruit is small, people tend to eat it by the handful. They don't chew slowly, and they don't feel full, making it easy to consume 3, 4, or 5 times the sugar your body can handle in one sitting without even realizing it. This sugar surge causes immediate damage. Your blood sugar spikes, your insulin rises, and your energy, brain function, and mood embark on a subsequent roller coaster. You might initially feel a burst of energy, perhaps some satisfaction, but within an hour, your blood sugar plummets, leaving you tired, sluggish, and possibly irritable. Due to the lack of fiber or hydration to balance this load, your digestive system can become sluggish, your joints may feel stiffer, and your muscles can lose elasticity. The situation worsens for older adults because dried fruits actively dehydrate. Your muscles, ligaments, and organs rely on water to maintain their suppleness and function. Water facilitates joint lubrication, supports smooth heart function, prevents skin thinning, and keeps digestion from slowing. However, dried fruits, despite their chewy texture, draw water from your system for digestion. They absorb fluid as they break down in your gut, fluid your aging body cannot afford to lose. This is why you often feel bloated, cramped, or even constipated after consuming dried fruits. Your system is internally dehydrating, and you're exacerbating the problem. Furthermore, many dried fruits are coated in oil to prevent sticking or infused with added sugars, particularly cranberries, pineapple, and mango. Even those labeled no added sugar may contain preservatives like sulfur dioxide, which can irritate the lungs and digestive tract in sensitive individuals. These are not whole, unprocessed foods. They are processed products, dehydrated, laden with sugar, and preserved for shelf life, not for your vitality. The impact manifests subtly: tight calves, restless legs at night, increased joint pain, slower, recovery after walking, muscle fatigue disproportionate to effort, dry mouth even after drinking water, dizziness upon standing, or a persistent craving for more snacks. These are not merely signs of aging. They are indicators that your body is being thrown off balance by your dietary choices, and dried fruits are frequently a hidden culprit. The solution is straightforward: eliminate them or treat them as an occasional dessert. If you choose to consume dried fruit, do so rarely and in very small quantities. 2 dates, not 8. 5 raisins, not a handful. Always pair them with something that slows sugar absorption: protein, fat, or fiber. Even better, replace them entirely with fresh fruit. A few slices of apple, pear, or berries still contain sugar, but also water, fiber, and volume. They provide satisfaction with less impact. Your body digests them more slowly, your blood sugar remains steadier, and your hydration is supported, not depleted. If you reach for dried fruits out of habit, as something to chew while watching TV, to combat an afternoon slump, or as a healthy alternative to chocolate, pause. Ask yourself what your body genuinely desires. Is it energy? Is it connection? Is it hydration? Dried fruit is an easy option, but it doesn't address the underlying issue. It merely masks it with sugar. You deserve better. The next time you encounter trail mix, small boxes of raisins, or fancy organic medjool dates, remember, small doesn't mean safe. Sweet doesn't mean smart. If your joints are stiffer, your energy is lower, your cravings are stronger, or your digestion is slower than it once was, dried fruits may be silently hindering your well-being. Don't fall for health food marketing. Don't let nostalgia override your biology. Provide your body with what it truly needs: hydration, stability, clarity, and genuine nourishment, not disguised dry sugar. Canned fruit in syrup, a metabolic threat at. First glance, canned fruit in syrup appears to be a harmless convenience. A tin of peaches, a cup of pears, slices of pineapple steeped in sweet golden syrup. You might tell yourself it's still fruit, and fruit is healthy, right? It's not cake. Not a donut, not candy. However, here's the unvarnished truth that most seniors never hear until it's too late. Once fruit is canned in syrup, it ceases to be a food and becomes a metabolic threat. It's not just less healthy, it's a dangerous disguise. If you're over 60 and grappling with circulation issues, energy dips, leg swelling, or tingling in your feet, this health food might be one of the factors diminishing your well-being. Let's be clear, canned fruit in syrup is no longer fruit. It's fruit that has been stripped, softened, and saturated in sugar water. The syrup isn't merely sweet. It's often made from high fructose corn syrup, one of the most inflammatory substances in the modern food supply. This isn't the type of sugar your body can readily burn off with a brisk walk. This is the kind that swiftly enters your bloodstream, overwhelms your liver, and damages the endothelium, the delicate lining of your blood vessels that regulates blood flow to your heart, brain, muscles, and most critically, your legs. This is where the real damage commences. When the endothelium is inflamed, which is common in seniors who consume syrup-laden foods, circulation slows. Blood no longer flows efficiently to your lower body. Vessels constrict, oxygen delivery diminishes, and the tissues in your legs, feet, and toes suffer. This is when you begin to notice the symptoms. Increased swelling, particularly in the ankles, a heavier sensation in your legs after sitting or walking, unexplained numbness or tingling in your feet that comes and goes, or the dawning realization that you no longer move with the same ease, not because your muscles are weak, but because your blood flow is compromised. This isn't solely aging, it's diet-induced vascular dysfunction, and canned fruit in syrup is one of the quickest ways to trigger it. The deceptive aspect lies in the belief that you're making a healthy choice. The label says peaches or fruit cocktail. It's shelf-stable, easy to open, served in hospitals, retirement homes, and even labeled light or in light syrup, as if that somehow improves it. But light syrup is still syrup. A small can often contains 20 to 30 grams of sugar in one sitting, more than a candy bar, and it doesn't carry the same sense of guilt. Consequently, people consume it more frequently, after breakfast, with lunch, as a healthy dessert. Cutting time. You're flooding your body with sugar that spikes your insulin, disrupts your digestion, and inflames your vascular system, all without ever making you feel full. This is because canned fruit in syrup doesn't just add sugar. It removes what fruit was intended to offer. No fiber, no inherent hydration, no structural integrity. The heat from processing breaks down the cellular structure of the fruit, leaving behind soft, lifeless flesh that digests rapidly and provides almost no genuine nourishment. Your body treats it like candy because, biologically, that's precisely what it is. The beneficial chew is gone. The feeling of fullness is gone. All that remains is sweetness and syrup, and your blood vessels bear the cost. You experience this cost in subtle, frustrating ways. The ache in your legs after standing for a while, the need to elevate your feet more frequently, a peculiar tightness in your calves, a shakiness in your thighs when ascending stairs. These are not random symptoms. They are quiet signals from your circulation indicating that your endothelial lining is inflamed, your blood viscosity is increasing, and your oxygen delivery is slowing down. The most unfortunate part is that over time, this damage becomes normalized. You begin to rationalize, maybe I'm just getting older. But the truth is, your body is battling unnecessary friction, and it's losing. When blood cannot flow freely, every bodily function becomes more challenging. Walking, thinking, healing, sleeping. No pill will reverse the microvascular damage caused by daily sugar from canned fruit. So what should you do? Simply put, eliminate canned fruit in syrup entirely. There is no moderation with this product. It does not support your biology. It offers no protection. It does not contribute to healthy aging. If you desire fruit, choose fresh, whole, seasonal fruit, with the skin on when possible. If fresh isn't available, opt for unsweetened frozen fruit, or fruit packed in water, or its own juice only. Even then, read the label meticulously, drain it, rinse it, and minimize sugar exposure. Most importantly, listen to your body. After eliminating canned fruit and syrup, many seniors report feeling lighter, less swollen, more mentally clear, and even less reliant on walking aids. This isn't magic. It's your body finally functioning without interference. It's blood flowing where it needs. 2. Its tissues receiving oxygen again. It's aging on your terms, not aging under the burden of fake fruit. Therefore, canned peaches are not harmless. Pineapple in syrup is not light. And those small plastic fruit cups distributed in medical settings are not nourishment. They are sabotage in a spoon. Your legs yearn for freedom. Your heart yearns for ease. Your blood yearns for unimpeded movement. Say no to syrup. Say yes to real food, real health, real circulation. Give your body the opportunity to move as it remembers how to, because it still possesses that capability. Overripe mangoes. A sweet misstep mangoes are generally considered healthy when consumed in moderation and with healthy fats. However, overripe mangoes contain significantly higher sugar concentrations and less fiber. This can flood your system, impair your insulin response, and leave you feeling dizzy or with heavy legs. Seniors often add mango to smoothies or desserts, unaware of how detrimental it can be to their circulation. What to eat? Instead, berries, especially blueberries and raspberries. These are rich in antioxidants and low in sugar, offering protection for your blood vessels. Apples with skin, raw. High in fiber, they help regulate blood sugar levels. Avocados. Technically a fruit, avocados are packed with potassium and healthy fats that support muscle tone and overall health. Not all fruits are equally beneficial after the age of 60. Some can spike your blood sugar, negatively impact your legs, and silently diminish your strength. Avoid the 7 fruits discussed above, and instead choose fruits that protect and nourish your muscles. Remember, if your legs falter, your freedom often follows. Walk strong, choose wisely. This message, brought to you by Senior Health 365.